Eagles Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Welcome back to the GSMC Hockey Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. We're back with our third segment of the night, talking worst NHL jerseys of all time. It's a topic that I love to talk about because there's been some horrendous NHL jerseys in the history of this league. So we got the graphic up. Worst NHL jerseys of all time. I'm excited for this one. The number 10 worst NHL jerseys of all time. It's the Islanders. I call them the practice jerseys because look at that. I mean, does that not just scream the Barclays Center, the worst NHL venue that there could possibly be? Those are bad. Those are not good. And it's not the bad the way that other jerseys on this list are going to be bad. Other jerseys are going to be bad for way different reasons. These jerseys are just ugly. Like, I couldn't imagine wearing them. The B on the sleeve with the 3 color, like, there's 4 different colors in this one. I get it, it's the Islanders color scheme, but why is there gray at the shoulder patches? Like, what's the point of that? It looks like I just made a Chell jersey and then we stuck it in there. But yeah, that's number 10. That's a rough one. Number 9, it's the Golden Seals, and maybe for the time these could have been good. But first off, I gotta talk about the colorway. Teal and yellow. Ugh. And then, you know, all the arenas look so dark back in like the 70s. So when we're looking at, you know, when we look at the play, it looks just dark and dreary anyways. And then, and then the goalie pads make it so much worse here, where it's like it's just gold and then the teal and then the weird font of seals too. This one's just gross. This is number 9. It's still it's a little bit worse than the Islanders practice jerseys, just because, I mean, look at the player right here, right? I don't even know who this is. Assistant captain number 60 something here for the Golden Seals. This is a little bit far back in my hockey knowledge. I don't think I could pull this random guy's name out of my keister, but for this guy, it's just all teal. It's all teal with a little white strips all around. Like, it's gross. This one's bad. Next up, number 8. We have the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I don't think that this photo does why it's so bad justice. The sleeves, this guy, is this number 12? Is this Vinny LeCavier right here? It might be. But he has the sleeves like a little bit crunched up so we don't see, like, the idea was so like thunderous and lightning. If you guys can look it up, the image on Google, unfortunately for my graphic here, it didn't crop correctly. But at the bottom too, there's like an ocean, like it's like an ocean theme, and it has the rain coming down, and it's like very graphic lightning, but it just doesn't work. It's way too busy. It's gross. You guys can't really see what makes it horrible, but it is really just bad. I mean, just the sleeve right here, you see it on the very bottom left side of this photo right here. The yellow, it's bad. Next up, number 7 is the Anaheim Wild Wing Ducks jersey. It has it's wearing the jersey on the jersey. Like, what kind of breaking the fourth wall are we doing here? It has the jersey of the Mighty Ducks on it, and then they wore this as a reverse retro a couple years ago, which makes it even worse because there's no reason that this awful piece of Ducks history should have been, like, it might be better than the webbed D Anaheim Ducks logo, which thank God that they rebranded because they needed it badly, but it might be better than that, not by that much. It's not that great. I cannot stand these. It truly looks like Disney made these and said, since we have the Mighty Ducks movies and your guys are named the Ducks, we're gonna make you guys wear these jerseys that are just so Disney Disney coded graphics. Yeah, that's number 7. Number 6, the LA Burger Kings, because we got the Burger King logo up in the top right here. Wow. First off, the gradient just like that cuts off the midsection is horrible. It was a horrible trend in NHL jerseys. There's like 3 or 4 jerseys that have like that gradient. I know the Vancouver Canucks have that ugly gradient. I think the Penguins had a very ugly gradient too. But I think that this one is by far the worst. First off, it goes from black to gray. That's boring. And second off, the logo just looks so bad. Why does he have a purple? I know that this was during the time where the LA Kings had the purple primary color, but it's still just, it does not look good. It doesn't fit the jersey because it's just black and gray and white, and then there's just this little bit of gold and purple. It's bad. I cannot stand those jerseys. It's the Burger King jerseys, as I call it. Number 5, the New Jersey jerseys. They wore the word Jersey on their jerseys. Yes, I get it. It's for New Jersey, right? The state, the name of the location. It's no excuse. They wore the word Jersey on their jerseys. What, are we going to put the word glove on our gloves now? Like, do we have to pant on our pants? Do we have to distinguish, what article of clothing we're putting on? Does somebody have to mention in these locker rooms? That's horrible. They put the word Jersey on their jerseys. These are bad. New Jersey jerseys are number 5. I also just love saying that. They're the New Jersey jerseys. Say that 10 times fast. I think it's actually pretty easy. But number 4 here, not the Toronto Maple Leafs that I always think that this is the Toronto Maple Leafs because it has the Maple Leafs logo. This is the Montreal Canadiens barber poles. These jerseys are these jerseys are rough. It's just these aren't good. They got these are horrible, just an eyesore. And I get what makes them a little bit better. Like, these probably should be dead last on a list. What makes them a little bit better is they're a throwback jersey, and like they're throwing it back to like 1920 or something here. So yeah, maybe it's a little bit better, and I think that it's for like Canadians in World War One. I think was what they were honoring with the Maple Leaf. I know that that's why the Toronto Maple Leafs have their name is for the World War One soldiers. So I think that's what the Montreal Canadiens did here. We're honoring World War One warriors. But it's still just bad. Like, the history amongst it, like, it's fine. Like, just wearing the Maple Leafs is definitely fine. Like, I don't have a problem with that. But the colors are awful. Once again, looks like a Chell jersey that I try to make. Next up, number 3, it's the Nashville Dopey Cat. These jerseys are hideous. And the 3 in the graphic kind of blocks it a little bit. But these jerseys are actually horrible. First off, the logo is maybe one of the worst logos we've seen in NHL history. We'll get to another one that's definitely way worse, but these ones are horrible as well. Just the eyes of the Nashville Predator here is scary. Like, this could haunt kids here. Like, nobody wants to own this jersey. Well, I guess some people did. Some people did buy it, but that's crazy. And then just the color scheme on the sleeves I don't like, and the weird like blocks of black on the sides I really don't like either. Just these jerseys are rough. The Nashville Dopey Cats come in at number 3. Number 2 is the Vancouver V jersey. Oh man. Vancouver has had some rough jerseys, like the hockey rink with a stick in the middle. I mean, that entire logo was very, very ugly, but I'm not going to fault them too much for that. These are some of the most eyesore jerseys I've ever seen. These are probably the most eyesore jerseys I've ever seen. And this is during the era where they had this the tilted Canucks circular logo. I wish I had a picture for you guys to see, but I do not have one close to me. Hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. But these jerseys are horrible. And then they made them take a picture, like a family portrait of everybody in these jerseys. Why did they pick these jerseys? Oh man, these ones are like hideous. And what makes it worse is, like, I would get it if these were their primary home jerseys during the time. That's why they picked these jerseys. I'm like 80% sure that this was during the era in NHL hockey where you wore your where the home team wore their whites. So their home jerseys weren't even these jerseys, even if they were a primary jerseys, which I would be shocked if they weren't in alternate jerseys. These are horrible. Why did we make them take a picture of it? They must have thought it was like just a funny gag here. Look at the just these are horrible. But that's number 2, and then number 1 is something that I honestly don't know if I could say. I could say it's the Mooterish jerseys for the Dallas Stars. You could figure it out without me having to really explain it why they're called that. These are awful. Like Marty Turco, legend of the sport. I think he's a Hall of Famer in the NHL, in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Why are we making him wear this jersey? We made Mike Modano wear this jersey, I'm pretty sure. Like, that is brutal. These are ugly. These are horrible. These are the number 1 worst NHL jerseys. Whenever I'm like making jokes with my buddies and we're talking about bad NHL jerseys, this is the one I go to first. The worst NHL jersey of all time. The Dallas Stars. Like I said earlier, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on air, but I already said it. So the Mooterish jerseys are number 1. It's horrible. It's just absolutely ridiculous that a serious NHL team wore these jerseys and said, "Yep, these are the ones." So there's definitely other jerseys that I would like to give honorable mentions too, like the Vancouver Canucks gradient. The red blue just doesn't fit their scheme whatsoever. There's a couple of reverse retros that I thought were absolutely hideous. The red Blue Jackets reverse retro I thought was absolutely disgusting. This coming from a guy that grew up in Columbus, a fan of the Blue Jackets. I thought those were hideous. And there's much more as well. But that'll wrap it up for the top 10 worst NHL jerseys of all time. I thought that we could get some comedic relief in this offseason as this is a slow time in NHL news. But that'll wrap it up for this third segment of the night. When I come back from my third break of the night, we will be talking about the Carolina Hurricanes and giving the season preview for that team.